the penalty corner is awarded and after goal is scored. Nuestra bienvenida para ustedes a las elecciones. Para disfrutar del mejor hockey que está en Mendoza.
How often do England train together then?
England?
Yeah.
Every day?
Y ahora es importante
Rifled in from Thompson. Here come the Dutch. Through Nunning, the youngster, 19 years of age. Tries to feed it through to Van der Poels. There's the free hit. Nunning into the circle, onto the stick of Cadell. That's a dangerous looking ball, and Zander Vaart almost makes Sam Charlton pay.
That's the thing about the Dutch, they make it look like the pass is there, but they know exactly what they're doing in terms of closing it down.
Gunson throws the aerial ball, and that is going to run out of play for a sideline ball. Which will be taken by Van Geffen. Geffen to Pauwman. Pauwman inside punt. The two captains there. Well, that was the ball from Pauwman, but just had too much on it for De Goede. Pauwman was frustrated with herself. She knows she should have made that pass. 9 times out of 10 we'd have expected her to do so.
Yeah, difficult one. If she doesn't pass it that quickly, then it could get intercepted. So did the right thing. It's just unfortunately Eva De Goede didn't get on the end of it.
Onto the reverse stick. And Van Marsaker does well. Cox wins a free hit. And a chance for the Dutch to relieve the pressure. Nice ball from Pauwman there.
Nice skill.
Wonderful piece of skill indeed.
Going to waste again, and there's too many of those passes from the Dutch at the moment. It's what we saw in the first and second quarter yesterday, wasn't it? You know, when they're good, it's because they play a short game and they're passing it, two-touch hockey. But yeah, too many balls just going too far in front or too far behind. It's just not quite working at the moment.
Yeah, it's the two sides of the coin, isn't it? Velton with a beautiful skill to get out of a difficult situation, and the basic skill of passing it across the park.
Exactly, and that's the bit you need to do well, just to ensure that the team can get into the game and get a flow.
Berg up against Gunson. Berg to the circle. Play on, says the umpire. Sideline ball to New Zealand. That's a good piece of control from Philly Dex. Ooh, just too far in front of Van der Poels.
Not seen Anita punt on the ball much today either for New Zealand.
She played a lot yesterday.
Yeah, she was really involved yesterday, and I think that's something New Zealand will need to do moving into the second quarter, getting her involved in the game, getting her on the ball, because when she is, she creates a lot of opportunities for them.
Just the one goal in the first quarter yesterday. Australian penalty corner against England. Most of the goal scoring action coming in the second half. That's good work by De Goede in very tight situation. So Van der Hervel keeps the momentum in the game for the Dutch. Here she is again. Van back to Bos. Bos. Look up. And she goes through Pauwman. There's a difficult ball for her teammates Freddie Dex to control.
Yeah, there's big gaps at the minute. The Dutch defence, and then there's almost one, maybe two midfielders, and then 3 or 4 high. So actually there's a big gap between, and if New Zealand can intercept the ball in that space, then they'll really have a good counter against the Dutch defence.
Well, we did the last game last night, didn't we?
Yeah.
Argentina against Germany. And we said about Germany, if they could keep the Argentina side quiet in the first quarter, get to quarter time 0-0, then they could build from there. And they did that very well. And actually, Germany played very, very well. Perhaps a little unlucky not to get something from that game. And it's almost the same with the Dutch, isn't it? They're so good that if you can frustrate them, then they could be their own worst enemy at times.
Absolutely. That's what they like to think, is that they are on top always, and if things aren't going their way, they really do start to get frustrated. And the fact that the ball is just breaking down a lot at the moment.
Van der Hervel does well. She's still going, Van der Hervel. That's a brilliant tackle.
It's a great tackle.
Is that Brooke Neal with the tackle there?
Liz Thompson's in the vicinity again as well. She's playing well at the moment.
Got to be careful here. And the 16 goes to, the free hit goes to New Zealand.
Colleen working well down the left baseline there, and that's what the Dutch do really nicely, playing the short pass back and forth from Ellen Hogue. But yeah, Brooke Neal there coming in to steal the ball back from New Zealand.
Final 10 seconds then of the opening quarter. Anita Punt and New Zealand have possession just outside the 25. Rifled in past the post, and that will be the end of proceedings for the first quarter. Both sides just sort of feeling each other out at the moment. Not much action to tell you about. The world champions are held goalless by New Zealand at quarter time. Well, Serge Marijn has got himself the same sort of conundrum he had yesterday, so far as his team haven't shown a great deal in the opening 15 minutes. I think Mark Hagar won't be too disappointed, will he? They haven't really been stretched, New Zealand.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I think for New Zealand, they haven't played as well as they can either. So I think the second quarter will be interesting. As I mentioned, if they can get Punt on the ball a little bit more, and also Mary had a great game yesterday. If they can keep going and keep attacking against the Dutch, then they might just fall upon them that they get a corner, or even better, a goal.
Well, here's some of the highlights from the opening quarter, which was goalless. What being said there?
I think the coach, he's a pretty laid-back guy, Serge Marijn. In the press conference yesterday, he was saying, well, you know, it's up to the team when they get on there to do their thing. I can't control that then, which was quite interesting. So I think he'll just be saying to them to just keep playing, try and get back to their game of the passing game. They're always talking about that the speed's in the ball and not in the players. And to be honest, the Dutch do have confidence in their game, and they do have confidence that if they get a corner, especially after yesterday, that hopefully for them they'll put it away.
Well, don't forget that social media is up and running. Twitter handle at FI Hockey, YouTube FI Hockey, as well as the Dutch get us underway in this second quarter. And a little bit more urgency perhaps required from the team in orange. Van Geffen has been upended by Olivia Merry.
Yeah, you can see Mary coming in being very strong, I think. Oh, Marco Van Geffen just gets bad end of the stick then, is taken to ground. But yeah, albeit a good tackle from Mary initially.
Didn't see a penalty corner until the third quarter. We haven't seen a penalty corner yet. Almost a good pick. till and that leads to for the Van Ass. Drops it out, and the Dutch just turning the screw a little bit here. Charlton trying to find Neil. And a rocky patch this for New Zealand.
Yeah. Good tackle.
Mickelson finds herself in the defensive quarter of the pitch. Little lay off the punt, and here goes Punt, trying to use her speed. Little look up, and decides just to stop her momentum. And across comes Ketels to win the free hit.
Yeah, good attack here from Holland, as you say. Save off the goalkeeper and just falls. Unfortunately, Lida Velten's moving forward and the ball falls just behind her. She's not quite able to get hold of it.
Oh, a slip from Velten. Hayward barged off it by Palman illegally, says umpire Cheiko Soma. Aerial ball into the corner. Ball under control by Grant. Off Grant's foot. Margis in some traffic in that corner, and Dex has won the free hit, and the line changes occur for both teams. Van der Herbel drops it out to Van Geffen. Van Geffen into Marsaka. Back to Van Geffen. Palman wants, Palman gets. Little look up, Palman will drop this back out. Van Geffen to Marsaka. Marsaka slaps it up the right channel. And there's absolutely nobody there, so it's off the back for a 16 for New Zealand. Good little ball. Punt picks it up. Kettle into the 25. Kettle now, can she drive to the circle edge? She can. Inside go New Zealand. She drops it out for Anita Punt, but Punt was running the wrong line.
Yeah, that's a difficult one, isn't it? Good decision not to put it into the congested area, but just pulls it too far back, and then that's the danger then of the interception and the counter from that position.
Margis.
It's all a bit scrappy at the moment, isn't it? Teams just giving it back and forth to each other. The distances between the defence in the Dutch team and the midfield is a bit too big, and they're receiving the ball with their back. Yeah, it's all congested, isn't it? All one-sided, and just need to kind of spread it out a bit more.
So to this near side where Thompson has a little look up, drops it back inside to Punt. Punt drops it down to Webster. Roberts fires it forward, and Webster can't bring it in. Okay, got deep discussion. Just past the midpoint of this second quarter. And New Zealand had possession in the centre of the park. Down this right channel they attack. Hayward up to the edge of the circle, where Webster will try and make something happen. Webster with her back to goal, being tackled by Van Geffen. Van Geffen fouls. Webster takes it quickly. Van Geffen has to retreat the 5 before she can make any sort of tackle. And then it comes off the foot of Webster, and it is a 16. Palman to take. That's gone through Herg, up towards Van der Poels, taken quickly. Van der Poels feeds it in, and here's a chance now for the Dutch. And The shot is on target, but it's a comfortable save for Barnett in the New Zealand goal.
Yeah, it is. Ball going through to Ellen Holt like that. We know her strength is her backhand shot, and I've seen her hit far post from there many a time. So for the goalkeeper, really lucky that she went in the near post there, and it was almost a comfortable save for her in the end. Yeah, great ball through from Michelle van der Poels to unleash Ellen Holt, but as I say, just going in on the near post there rather than going to the far post. And so many times we've seen that either go in there or there's a player coming in on the outside to get a deflection in on that.
Well, there was a player in orange making tracks towards that far post. And the wind just starting to pick up again. It's another cool day here in Argentina. Players won't get fooled into thinking it's going to stay like this. It's supposed to get up into the mid-30s on the next day's play, which will be on Tuesday after today.
Yeah, an example there of how the Dutch just aren't on form at the moment. Ellen Hoek driving up the left-hand side of the field, but none of her teammates really sprinting to support her or get short so they can play that simple game that they normally do.
Oh, the edge at the edge of the circle almost puts the Black Sticks in trouble. Charlton brings it away. I think maybe there's a little bit of World Cup hangover.
I don't know, I think in the press release yesterday, Stuart Moran was really trying to make a point about how the Dutch girls only train twice a week together on a Monday and Tuesday. Difficult one. I know a number of teams now, like England and USA, have got centralised programmes and therefore access to each other every day. But how it works in Holland, the system's a little bit different. The club structure is very important, and half of these girls play in the same team, so they do tend to see each other every day. But I get his point, like as a national team, they're not together all week long. They're definitely not looking a shot.
Here's a chance though now for the Dutch. Oh, just couldn't quite bring it out from underneath that feet. It's still alive though for Holland. And that is a penalty corner. Oh, it's been given long, and Van der Heuvel is asking to go upstairs.
Asking for a foot in the circle?
Asking for a foot in the circle.
Natalie, can you hear me? Yes, I can hear you. Holland is asking for a foot inside the circle. Okay, I'll have a look for a foot.
Well, good passage of play here for the Dutch. It's much further on. This is the opportunity for Margis, which she misses, and the foot is about another, I don't know, 10 seconds further on here. So it's not here.
No, she just loses control.
This is the wrong. Here we go. This is it here.
Yeah, that's clear.
Yes, I have a decision for you. Okay. It is a penalty corner, and the Netherlands keep their referral.
Onto the foot of Jordan Grant. Now, chance here, and the skipper is not on the park, so it's Van Maarsaka, and so De Goede at the top of the circle, but you can see there Van der Heuvel. She's to the left of the four players on the edge of the circle. Van Maarsaka scores down to Barnett's right-hand side, and a change of personnel at the top of the circle, but the same result, same spot.
Yeah, good.
Or same side at least. That's
good flick there. Not always going to be low from Kai van der Masker on that side. She's got a nice high one to the right side as well, but on this occasion chooses to go low left, and you can see the pace of that is just a little lift on the ball as well, which makes it difficult for the keeper. And yeah, she's overstretching there, but she's not getting anywhere near that. Very accurate there from Kaya.
interesting choice of
nice
music.
Christmas song.
For goal scoring celebration, and it is actually Van Maarsaka, number 13, who has given the Dutch the lead. It's 3 penalty corners that the Dutch now have scored, all down at that left-hand end, all to the keeper's right. The first two up high, the third one down low. So punt, plays it infield to Mikkelsen. Nice return ball, punt forward through. Oh, that's a horrendous tackle. Surely that's a... Well, they got the penalty corner. I thought they were going to get a stroke.
I thought
it was
they
a
might have done as
shocking
well.
tackle.
Great bit of build-up play from Punt to Mikkelsen, and then Curtis, I believe it was, just getting a little touch over the defender's stick. A lovely piece of skill in there. But yeah, you're right. I wasn't sure if that was going to be a little bit more than just a corner then.
It looked like she made no attempt to play the ball. The Dutch could have got away with that, but it's strange, isn't it, how you see a side take the lead, and we haven't even played 20 seconds. Here comes this tackle here.
Yeah,
oh,
wow.
I mean that from Van Geffen is horrendous.
That is horrendous by international standards. Go into ground and trying to swing at that from that angle is really, really difficult.
So chance for New Zealand. Punt! Oh, it was to that far post for Webster. She couldn't quite get the touch.
Yeah, look from this angle that it went in nicely from Punt. I don't know where they got a little lift on it. But even so, she should be putting that one away. Yeah, it's got a little skip on it. It has got a little skip, and you just see skips just below Webster's stick to bounce out the other side. Tricky one.
Forward from Hayward, but Webster can't pick it up. And for me, that's a get out of jail card for the Dutch, because it should have been a penalty stroke.
Yeah,
I believe. Van Ass then. Plays it down that line and sort of left it to each other. And, off the stick of Roberts, and Velton will take. Velton chops it out to Dex. Palman. To Van Geffen. Van Geffen runs into Mikkelsen and gets her bang on the head off Mikkelsen's shoulder. Oh, in fact, she's cut herself.
Oh, straight into the shoulder. She's a tough one though, Margot Van Geffen. She'll be okay.
Straight over to the team doctor to get that one sorted out. Foda trying to pick it up on the reverse stick. That would have been some take.
I've actually seen her do it, believe it or not. She's very skillful at that. But yeah, poor pass there to Eva de Rudde, making it life really difficult for her.
Off the end of the park, Marsaka, the goal scorer. This is Bos. De Rudde, under a little bit of pressure from Curtis. De Rudde brings it away and then plays it straight up the park, gets the ball back and flings it out to Velton on this left-hand flank. Good tackle by Roberts, was it? Yes, it was. So inside the final 30 seconds of this first half of this Pool A match between New Zealand and the Netherlands. The Netherlands leading by a 1-0, courtesy of Kaya van Marsaka. Penalty corner in the 26th minute. New Zealand still very much in this game. Velton. Inside to De Rudde. Dex makes tracks up the right flank, but De Rudde opts to go back to Bos, and that is the half-time hooter. And it is the Dutch that lead after the first 2 quarters of play. Kaya van Marsaka, the difference between the two. New Zealand 0, Netherlands 1, the half-time score. Well, Sud Marijn leaves with Dexy van der Heuvel for a bit of a chat. Barnett had a good game, or a good first half, at least a good couple of touches. Difficult in that penalty corner. It was fast down to her right-hand side. Be interesting to get the thoughts of Sarah Thomas after the break as to whether she thinks the Dutch are worthy of the lead. But Mark Hagar in deep discussion. It's the Dutch that have the advantage here at half-time. New Zealand 0, Netherlands 1. Welcome back to Mendoza, half-time in this Pool A match between New Zealand and Netherlands. It's New Zealand 0, Netherlands 1. Kava Masaka on 27 minutes. A penalty corner into the bottom right-hand corner, but the New Zealand team could well have been back on level terms about 20 seconds later as we see some of the highlights of that opening half. And Georgia Barnett in the New Zealand goal, winning only her 6th cap, but couldn't stop that rocket into the bottom corner from Van Maasaker. This from behind the goal. Plenty of pace on that one. And then from the restart, New Zealand went down the other end and won a penalty corner. Could well have been a penalty stroke for a horrible looking tackle by Van Geffen, and this was the result of it. Webster just missing the tip in on the near post. And those about the highlights. Sarah Thomas alongside me. Here are the stats. So the Dutch dominating possession in the opponent's half, plenty more circle penetrations, but Joyce Sombroek yet to be worked in the Netherlands goal, and the Dutch worthy of their lead.
Yeah, I mean, you know, looking from the stats there, they've obviously had more possession and from that penetrations, but the poor result from that for me is the amount of shots they've had. Off 11 penetrations, they've had 2 shots, and by the Dutch standards, that isn't very high at all.
I think by any international standard, the coach would be looking for more shots from 11 penetrations, but Archie Powman, deep conversation. Don't forget social media, get involved in the Champions Trophy here in Argentina. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and YouTube. Our Twitter handle at @FIH_hockey. Use the hashtag WCT or hashtag CT2014. Facebook is at FI Hockey, Instagram at FI Hockey, and you can subscribe to our YouTube channel at FI Hockey as well to watch highlights and replays of the matches here in Argentina in the Men's Champions Trophy, which starts next weekend in Bhubaneswar in India. So, the Dutch, who won their first game against China by 2-0, lead at half-time against New Zealand by 1-0, and another win here would pretty much guarantee them top spot in Pool A, with Japan still to be played. Then come down to New Zealand against China to see who finished in second spot. I guess that depends on the result between China and Japan, which is the second match on here today. What do you think New Zealand had to do then, Sarah, to turn this one around?
Yeah, I think they were trying to high press a lot in the first half there, and it wasn't really paying off for them. But I think if they keep high pressing and keep trying to put the Dutch defence under pressure, then they may win back some ball. And when they do, just to be confident and driving at the Dutch defenders. As I've mentioned before, if there was ever a weak spot in the Dutch team, you would say it's the defence, and you'd want to run at them. So if they can run at them and try and get some corners, or even better, try and get some shots on target, then I think that'll make for a much more exciting half of hockey than for New Zealand.
Sombroek, I don't think, has made a save in 1.5 matches.
Yeah.
We're almost ready to go for this second half. The crowd will count down and New Zealand will get us underway when the whistle blows. So New Zealand gets us underway in the second half. Trailing by 1-0. They have 2 quarters in which to rescue something from this match. Gunson almost dispossessed by Velton. But does well to keep going, and chance here for Hayward, but Velton gets the ball eventually. Powman. a little look around just to make sure there's no New Zealand player behind her that could steal the ball off her. It's a pinpoint accurate pass from Van Marsaka to Hoda. New Zealand sideline ball. Foul called on Van der Poels. And here goes Mikkelsen. Pauwman trying to reach round. And the call goes against her. Punt drops it off to Charlton. Charlton can't keep it under control. And New Zealand need to look after the ball a little bit more. As we saw from those stats, they haven't had a great deal of possession. So when they do get it, they need to look after it.
Yeah, I think both teams do, in all honesty. I mean, the Dutch haven't taken that much care either. Another sloppy pass and no one's on the end of it. I think for them, like I keep saying, when they play well, they play the short pass and they play two-touch hockey, and at the moment the passes are far too long and or out of reach of their teammates.
Looking at all 8 teams on paper, the Dutch look by far the strongest, with just 3 members of their World Cup winning squad not here. But from the opening day's play, there's any team on their day could come away with a trophy here.
Yeah, exactly.
In Argentina.
There's not much intensity to the Netherlands at the moment. I think normally you see them play with intensity and tempo, and they're up and down the field and really creating exciting opportunities. But 2 years ago, again, the Champions Trophy was in Argentina and the Dutch didn't make the final. And so I thought they'd be coming to this tournament really to make a statement that they're going to be in the final and this is what they want to do. And that's not saying that they probably won't get there, but it's just that the intensity is lacking at the moment.
Called upon to do some defending. Geffen does well, good strong defending. Yeah, you'd also think, you know, with the Europeans coming up in London next August, they're World Cup champions, they're the world number ones, they're Olympic champions, World Hockey League champions. You'd thought they wanted to add Champions Trophy and European champions, and then they've got the lot.
Yeah, to add it to the list. And yeah, I mean, they do. They drive themselves as a team internally. They always want to be as good as they can. I mean, Pauwman, it hurts her really bad, even if she loses a club game, for example. You know, they're very, very competitive.
Ball into the circle for the Black Sticks. And Van der Poels makes it look very easy getting that one clear. Cox. Charlton first time in. Can they get the shot away? Curtis. And Marsaka scores a goal and then does her defensive duties very well.
Yeah, Curtis has been busy today. She hasn't always necessarily done the right thing, but she's been busy and trying to put herself about there against the Dutch defenders, and on that occasion tried to get a shot off. Didn't execute it properly, but did try to get the right thing done. Oh, wow.
That's a great ball and a chance here for Margis. Margis, one-on-one. Oh. She's hit the post.
She's at the outside of the goal, yeah.
Can't find the target. And Barnett breathes a sigh of relief.
Yeah, here she comes in and... Oh, yeah, it could have been the post from there. But again, shooting near post. The space, as you can see there, is on the far post, and that's where she should be shooting towards. But yeah, just not going to execute anything. If it goes in against the goalkeeper there, it's a really bad mistake by the goalkeeper. But let's not take anything away from Willemijn Bos's pass to get there. She beat every single player on the New Zealand team to find that pass. And having played against her myself, she makes it so difficult. The disguise on her pass is just ridiculous.
New Zealand led off the hook there. Neil. Margis wins the free hit. The New Zealand defence saying it was rather high, but no change of heart from the umpire. Margis going on a little dribble of her own. gives away the free hit, which New Zealand take quickly. Van der Hervel, not quite sure why she's pulling away Charlton's stick. Let's have another look here.
Yeah, she's just caught behind her leg there and she's continued to pull.
Fair enough. I don't think she wants to have
Colleen's not too happy about that.
Leg pulled away.
Oh.
We've seen that from a lot of teams. Almost every team's had difficulty on this pitch, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. I mean, but at the end of the day, the pitch has been down a year or so. It's going to have a little skip on it, but these are international players and should be stopping balls like that when they're not under pressure.
Penalty corner for the Netherlands. Good work down that left flank coming round the back. And this time, Palman is on the park.
Yeah, here we see Ellen Hoch getting in on the baseline. She pulls the ball back in here, and this time it just does catch the foot of Neil there. Very good Ellen Hoch on the left-hand side of the field, especially on her backhand, as we know, but yeah, doing enough there to get the corner for her team, and Palman is on the field.
2 in the top left corner as she's looking yesterday, Palman. Will she go the same spot here? Yes, she will. And Barnett goes across and makes a comfortable save. Not as high as the ones against China yesterday, but Barnett does well. Still a chance. And Van der Hervel sees her shots put behind for a long corner. Good work from Charlton there, trying to bring it out of defence for New Zealand.
Here we see the corner. Palman not getting hold of it just as she was yesterday, and it's a comfortable save, really mid-height for the goalkeeper there. Nothing in comparison to her top left-hand corner against China yesterday.
Keeps New Zealand in the game. Palman.
Good.
Good pressure from Charlton.
Yeah,
and
really good.
She's won the free hit. Palman, as is often her way, contesting the decision when it goes against her, but I think that was a fair decision. Palman caught napping. Mikkelsen trying to make something happen for the Black Sticks. Wins the free hit on the circle edge, taken quickly. Into the circle it goes, and Sonbroek makes her first clearance.
Yeah, it's good from New Zealand, being really direct from their free hits on top of the circle, driving at the defence, the Dutch defence, and getting something on target.
Deflected it into the circle of Drost. And here is Drost now bringing the Netherlands forward. Van der Hervel to her right. Van der Hervel drops it back to Van As. And Van der Hervel continues her run. If they can find her, they can. Van der Hervel up towards the edge of the circle. Gets them back. Oh, what a wonderful interchange of pass between Van der Hervel and De Waard.
Now that's the best bit of play we've seen from the Netherlands all morning. I mean, that's kind of their type of hockey in terms of laying the ball off, getting it back, and great bit of play up the right-hand side of the field. And Colleen just trying to get that ball across. I'm not quite sure who that player was in the centre, but she didn't really have her stick down or wasn't really ready for that ball come in.
It's Ellen Herg, wasn't it?
It was Hoch, was it? Yeah. Yeah, but nice bit of combination play from Van As and Colleen down the right-hand side there.
Stretching is Merry. He's been quiet. She was prominent in the first quarter. Olivia Merry. New Zealand haven't been able to get her into the game. Anita Punt still in the game, but in fits and starts, not as much as New Zealand would like, and that's disappointing from the Black Sticks. Free hit for the Netherlands. New balls on the park. Now we can get play back underway. Van Marsacker on this near side, right underneath our commentary position. Goes up the line to Van der Poels, but it was rather a wayward pass. So Neil will take the sideline ball. Finds Cox. Cox plays it back inside off the foot or leg of Van der Poels. So Neil has another dead ball situation, this time in the Dutch half. King to the New Zealand right, into the 25 go New Zealand. Good strong defensive work by Van Marsacker, and then she plays the ball to Margie's, and Margie's struggles to keep it in play. She does keep it in play, ends up on her own bench, but there's nobody in front of her, and King under no pressure at all as the Dutch drop into a half-court press. Finds Roberts, who in turn finds Kettle. Kettle loses out. Oh, we've got to be careful there, Kettle. She was lucky that was outside the 25, or it could have been a penalty corner. Margie's into the circle, couple of edges behind for a long corner. Play on. Long corner. Van As into the circle, chance here for the Dutch if they can get it out. Barnett comes, Barnett's stuck on the floor, but it's behind for a long corner.
Yeah, she went for it, but just seemed to stop dead, didn't she?
Again, the Dutch trying to make something happen from that long corner on the far side. Into the circle it goes, and harmlessly across the face of goal from Van As, but it was potentially dangerous from Van As.
Yeah, here's Lieder van Velten having the opportunity. Sorry, that's Van der Poels having the opportunity there, and the goalkeeper just stops dead.
Again, trying to clear the ball. She was only ever trying to kick the ball out of play behind her goal, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Sideline ball. Waiting for the other ball to be off the park. It's now gone. Oh, that's a poor pass. It's easily picked off by Palman. And here goes Margie's. She's got no support in the centre of the park here, Margie's. It's arriving very late in the shape of Velten.
How many times today have we seen the Dutch just overrun their passes? I mean, if there was ever a time for New Zealand to have some confidence to go at them and try and take this game from them, would be today. They're only 1-0 down. The Dutch really aren't looking on form at the moment, and maybe Curtis can get something new.
Curtis, chance here. Mikkelsen. Van Marsakker's had a good game at the
Van
back.
Marssacker, really good low tackle there, low shave tackle.
Hayward though, into the circle. Hayward, can she find space? Shot comes in.
Oh,
that's nearly turned in by Van Geffen. Oh, it's a 16 in fact, so it was the New Zealand player on the back post.
Here we see it. Hayward, really good work in there, realises she's under pressure, moves the ball away from goal and turns and shoots, and again that's a really good shot for me because it's going across the goal, and even if she can't get it in, hopefully one of her teammates are there to deflect it, and she has got the deflection, but it's just a stick's opened up and it's gone wide of the goal rather than into the net.
Charlotte Gloin, I think it was, on that far post. But alarm bells at the back for the Dutch. They don't concede many goals, Holland. Only conceded one at the World Cup against Japan in their opening game. Lara, I think, has just picked up a knock as we enter the final 15 seconds or so.
Yeah, just gone into Cox there, but taken a knock to the head. We've seen quite a few of these already this tournament, haven't we?
We have. Countdown. It's almost finished. That is the end of the third quarter. No more goals added to the scoreline, but the Dutch still lead by a goal to nil. Moments for New Zealand in that third quarter, most notably right at the end when Klein just deflected wide, but Ryan want more from his side in this final quarter, because this one's still very much in the balance. You can't imagine the Dutch conceding two, but you could definitely see them conceding one.
Yeah, you can see if they could get rattled. I mean, at the moment they're playing with a back three and two screens in front of them, and sometimes they're having Eva de Goede and Martje Pauwman off the field at the same time, leaving Ketels and Nunnik in there, and they're pretty inexperienced. So if New Zealand pick up on that, they could put a bit more pressure on them and try and run at the defence from there on.
Well, Mark Hagar's team have 15 seconds to get something out of this one. They need to find at least one goal. It's New Zealand 0, Netherlands 1. So look at the highlights from the match.
Really accurate there from Van Massika at the top of the circle. So accurate down in the bottom left-hand corner. Not a lot the goalkeeper could do with that, considering how outstretched he already is. Perfectly placed. That's a nice thing for the Netherlands. Even if Pauwman's not on, they've got Van Massika, also de Goede. You know, they've got three people at the top of the circle that can really do something from there.
Van Massika's been good at the back as well, hasn't she? She's really controlled the defence, snuffed out any Black Sticks threats.
Yeah, considering how tall she is, she's been making some really low tackles, really low shave tackles, and winning possession back for the Netherlands in there.
Well, New Zealand get us underway in this final quarter. And it comes, chance goal! And it's Olivia Mary!
It is, what a goal!
Mary scores a brilliant goal at the start of the fourth quarter. I still can see the Dutch conceding one, not two. While having scored so early, they could easily concede two.
Yeah, great ball in there, and Olivia Mary times it perfectly. You can see she's just got the edge on the Netherlands defender, and she's got that in top right-hand corner as we look at it. Great ball, but great lead from Mary to get on the end of that, just ensuring she's in front of the Netherlands defender and ahead of her to get a great contact on that ball. Here we see it from a different angle. She just perfectly have just kept that ball moving, and Joyce Sonbrook didn't see much of that at all.
Van Geffen was Mary's defender. A second goal for Olivia Mary in this Champions Trophy, and that was a really well taken goal, and reward for New Zealand for their hard work. They've improved, haven't they, through every quarter?
Yeah, exactly, they have. And like I said, that, you know, if ever is a day to beat the Dutch, I'd say today is it. They've not been ticking well, the Dutch out there, and I think if New Zealand build on this now and get some confidence from it, they've got a good 14 minutes in which to do something with it. At the same time, the good thing is it makes the Dutch have to work harder and maybe, you know, improve their form rapidly for them.
Might waken them from their slumber.
Yeah, exactly. You can already hear Pauwman screaming at a team to get up and go forward, and that's how they always react to conceding a goal, is to go forward and attack.
Felton into the edge of the circle. Felton, and off the foot after the tackle comes in from Pippa Hayward. Mickelson has Cox to her left. Cox, cross field, plays it in to Curtis. Curtis wins the free hit on the 5 metre line, which Hayward will take out to that right hand side. And it comes a swing and a miss from Thompson. But because the Dutch player wasn't in close proximity, she gets away with it. Off the Dutch stick, and I think you're right, Sarah, if ever there is a day to beat the Dutch, it is today. Powman brings it away. Picks out Herg. Herg still going. As De Hoda in the centre of the park. De Hoda tries to pick out Van Ass, but Mikkelsen is tracking back and picks up the ball. Plays it out to Merry. Merry just has a little pause, then goes on the reverse stick. Van Geffen picks up the possession. Powman drops it to Vos. Vos to Van Ass. Van Geffen means the free hit. Van Geffen, Van Ass. Van Geffen continues her run down the right flank. Van Ass comes in field, inside the 25, up to the edge of the circle. Opportunity here for the Dutch. And a hand is the call from the umpire, and there's no challenge from the Dutch. A good call by the birthday girl, Cheiko Soma.
Great ball.
Gloin can't keep possession. And New Zealand getting about the Dutch here.
Yeah, they are. Van Massacre coming across to clear that one again for the Dutch and really reaching out for it and winning it back. But yeah, you're seeing the game open up a little bit more now and both teams going at it in attack.
Just run out of it on that far side. Free hit for Holland. And De Hervel drops it out to Van Massacre. Powman fires one in. That's a good stop by King. And then she clears on the reverse stick. It needed to be a solid touch, and it was. The New Zealand player.
Yeah, here we see the goal again. Fantastic finish from Merry. Can't do better than that. Just keeps the ball's momentum moving forward and the edge of a stick to make it go top right hand corner. I think you already see though the Dutch taking a bit more care with their passing, making sure it's going stick to stick and realising they are actually under some real pressure now from New Zealand here.
Down that left flank. Herg wins the free hit off Thompson. 10 minutes and change remaining in this fourth and final quarter. Burst coming across the front of the defender King, but King does well. Thompson gets half a stick on it, but it makes its way through to Van Ass. And a chance for De Waard. And the first time snapshot from Zan De Waard. Can't find the target. Nice ball in though.
Yeah, lovely ball in and tries to swing for it, but ball's just moving forward and not able to make contact with it. Some of the New Zealand girls looking a little bit tired out there now in terms of tracking back in defence, so I hope that isn't something that lets them down now moving into the last 9 minutes of the game.
Van Ass to Van Geffen. Van Geffen to De Waard. De Waard up against King. Cuts back inside. Zan De Waard into the edge of the circle. Off the foot, penalty corner. That was, as you say, a tired-looking attempted clearance.
Yeah, I think that's exactly it for the New Zealand girls now. They just look a little bit tired and as a result giving away silly little mistakes and easy corners. So not protecting the feet on that one and just opens up. Good bit of skill though for De Waard coming in there in the circle. Great drag to the left and pull. Opens up some space for herself and in doing so and putting through the cross manages to win a foot and a penalty corner.
Annie Roberts able to get her left peg out the way. So Van Ass to inject. Powman to flick. And good running from Mikkelsen. Whistle had already gone. Powman's very, very frustrated, to put it mildly.
Yesterday she was getting ready to swing, wasn't she? She didn't make very good contact. She definitely made contact with that follow through today. in fairness to New Zealand, though, great number one run-in out of Palman.
So Van Ast to inject once more. Palman once more. Flex. Plunging save by Barnett away to her right-hand side. Quickly taken by the Dutch, not 5. And the penalty given, not 5, New Zealand.
Punt's not sure whether she should refer it or not, but don't think they can make a decision between them. And yeah, I think they're going to ask for video referral now.
She was
Can you hear
5.
me? Yes, Chico. 3, 6, 5 meters. So they're saying they were 5 meters, but you gave the penalty corner because they weren't 5 meters? Correct. Yes. Okay, I'll have a look for you.
So let's have a look. Could be mighty close.
Yeah, I think as a player, your
down to
interpretation
make
of the
sure.
5 is really difficult as well.
I'm going to make sure translation.
It's taken
So this is what
there.
yeah.
She goes back.
Yeah,
Well,
but
I'm
it was,
not sure Anita
it
punts
was,
5,
yeah,
is
it
she?
was Punt who comes in and actually makes the tackle, so that's what they're claiming about, not actually the girl on the circle edge.
Right,
So
so interesting to see that again, and just keep our eye on Anita Punt, the number
Yeah.
32.
to see how far she'd actually come from before she put her stick in for that.
I wouldn't be surprised if this isn't overturned and New Zealand lose their referral. Let's have another look. Right, keep your eye on 32. Left of screen. Well, maybe she is 5.
Yeah,
you
well,
know.
she'd come from further than the
Maybe she
distance.
is
Yeah,
5.
that's a difficult
Chico, can
one.
you hear me? Yep. There is no clear reason to change your decision. Stick with the penalty corner and New Zealand lose their referral.
It's too grey an area.
It
That's
is,
the
yeah, it's
problem
really
with that
ambiguous.
referral.
Yeah.
It's not like is it a foot or isn't it a foot?
Yeah, exactly. It is ambiguous. And as a player, you're always thinking, oh, I was 5 in the heat of the moment. But from that, it did look like she was. So it's a difficult call.
There's not enough there for the video umpire to overturn the
Yeah,
decision.
exactly. So it has to stand.
Right. We've got 8:29 remaining. At the top of the circle, Kaya van Marsacker. Skipper Marcia Palman. Goes to Palman. Palman flicks. Good running again from Mikkelsen, and this time they double team up to get the ball clear. And Van Heffen tries the reverse stick shot. It's desperate defence here from the Black Sticks. Still an opportunity for Holland, and that's good work from Barnett as Drus tried to turn it in at the far post.
I didn't think I've ever seen Ellen Hoch hit such a bad backhand in my life. She really didn't make contact with that. But yeah, there was an opportunity on the far post to try and put that in, but
King, New Zealand, who don't have a referral. That could be interesting later on in proceedings if they're under pressure towards the end.
yeah, especially as you can see now, the Dutch are, every time they get in the circle, they're not even thinking about taking a shot, just trying to win a corner. Great ball from Kaya to find Ellen Hoch there, and she just doesn't connect with that whatsoever. Does drop to try and get a hit on the post there, try and put something towards goal, but totally misses that, totally hitting the floor first rather than going through the middle of the ball. And yeah, just that touch on the far post, the goalkeeper's already over to try and save it, but Rose Drost not getting much on that.
Van As, free hit 5 metres out. All 3 New Zealand players on that line. And it comes, across it comes. And doesn't travel 5 before being put into the circle. King. Munink to Bos, Van As, Pauwman, to Herder. 6 minutes remaining in this Pool A clash. New Zealand 1, Netherlands 1. Draw make things interesting on the final day of pool matches on Tuesday. The ball comes across. New Zealand have got to do a job here. They've got to keep their concentration levels to the max. Boss. Oh, that's a lovely looking ball. She's pulled another one of those passes out the bag, and Drews couldn't get on the end of that one.
Yeah, she's put some really great balls through today, Boss, hasn't she? And just manages to find that forward, but not able to get on the end of that, Ross Drost. Still not a real sense of urgency from the Netherlands like you'd normally see. Naomi Van As starting to get on the ball a little bit more for them, but yeah, the midfields aren't really offering. They're quite static and they're not really running back to receive the ball, so that they're already on the move. Everything's quite static within the midfield area, which is something you don't normally see. Often see them interchanging quite a lot and being in the right side in 1 second and left side the next. So
you can see Serd Marijn talking to his bench. Hayward. Felton's got to be careful there. Inside the final 5.
I mean, considering New Zealand are missing what we said at the beginning of the game, their key players, their prolific goal scorers, they've done a fantastic job out there today in terms of keeping it to 1-1. And actually, if they go forward in the next 4 minutes, I think they can create another opportunity for themselves.
Charlton. As that one forward picked up by Mary, the goal scorer. And Mary wins the free hit, taken by Cox. In it comes. Here is this chance, perhaps. Good defensive work by, guess who? Van Marsacker.
Yeah, she's been good today. Mikkelsen picking that ball up. Would have liked to have seen her roll to a strong side and try and get a hit off her forehand rather than the backhand, but easier said than done when you're up here.
Van As brings it out for the Dutch. Still going, Van As wins the sideline ball off Charlton. 3.5 minutes remaining in the piece. Pauwman wants some movement in front of her. There isn't a great deal of it.
No, very, very static in the midfield area for the Dutch. And
here goes Felton. Felton to Margis. Margis down on her knee. That's going to go the way of the Black Sticks. But Marsacker does enough to stop Curtis breaking down the right flank for New Zealand.
Yeah, New Zealand doing very well in terms of all getting back in defence, but of course that then means they have no one high up the field. You can see Mary then on the left side of the field, the forward for New Zealand, really struggling to get back. Here's the corner from earlier. Pauwman, great save from the goalkeeper, knows exactly where she's going, top left in, and palms it off onto the side of the pitch.
A good job Pauwman went there and not the other side.
Yeah, exactly.
The keeper might have looked a little foolish. Done all right as Barnett in the New Zealand goal. No rush of bloods to the head that Sally Rutherford had yesterday. Hoda, is this a chance for the Dutch? Lovely piece of skill. Goes towards Barnett. It's at the top. Van As first time. Didn't quite get hold of it all. Oh, they've got to need some communication in that New Zealand circle. Punt eventually gets it clear, but it's seat of the pants stuff by New Zealand. And now they get the free hit.
Yeah, really good work there from Sophie Cox trying to win the free hit from the You see a nice bit of skill from Ellen Holt coming in on the right hand side and getting something on target, and Naomi Van As completely makes no real contact with that ball.
someone has picked up an injury for New Zealand as we see the replay again from the other angle, the reverse angle.
Yeah, better from that angle. You can see no contact, but really good from New Zealand in terms of driving the ball out of defence. And as I mentioned, Sophie Cox winning the free hit for a team higher up the field, so they can actually get into position a bit quicker.
It's Hayward who's picked up a little bit of a knock, but she's okay to continue. We've got 1:41 left. Neil, that's that right-hand side. Charlton bringing it forward. Charlton, this is Mickelson. Mickelson to punt. Punt gets another shot at the pass forward. No one there in black, and this will be a good result for New Zealand. And then maybe, in retrospect, they felt that, as you say, this was a chance for them to take the Dutch down. But even so, if they can hang on to this draw, they'll be delighted, and then it'll be a straight shootout as to the results in the final day of pool play, where the Netherlands will take on Japan and New Zealand will take on China. Powman, lovely little pass. We saw her do that yesterday, but de Hervel can't keep it in play.
I mean, the confidence of Powman to do that, and defending 23 with the game being 1-1 is just crazy.
And Marsaka gets the decision, and so Marijn is going to see his side draw here, I think. Almost certainly now that Van As can't keep the ball in play.
Yeah, New Zealand just need to slow it down here and take the ball into an area where get one of these skillful players on the ball and just keep it.
Lobs it forward. That is going to be that. A good result for New Zealand. There is the final hooter. And New Zealand can feel pretty happy with the job they've done here this morning. They conceded an early goal in the first half, but scored the equaliser right at the start of the fourth quarter. And try as they might, there was no way forward to find a winner. But that opens up Pool A quite a lot. The Dutch below par here and almost made to pay. But New Zealand couldn't quite unlock them for a second time. Lovely goal from Olivia Merry after Kaya van Marsaka had given the Dutch the lead. Sombroek beaten for the first time here in Mendoza. But this Pool A match has finished New Zealand 1, Netherlands 1. So I think we can have a look at some of the highlights from this fourth quarter, and that's the goal from Olivia Merry. Well taken, really well taken goal. And some reward for their endeavour. They could well have had a stroke earlier on in proceedings, couldn't they, when in the first half, when Curtis was brought down. But that was the opportunity for Drost at the far post. I think, in truthful, Herg was going for the reverse stick shot on target rather than the pass to the far post, but it didn't come off for her. And then this lovely looking ball to Drost once again.
Yeah.
Couple of penalty corners. In fact, Powman did score and had a goal disallowed.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm sure she'll be delighted about that in the post-match press conference. And it was some frantic defending at moments in that final call. I can see that Anita Punt is pitch side with Mel Cludo.
Anita, congratulations today. How pleased are you with your performance?
You know, it was a really gutsy effort from the girls today. You know, it would have been nice to get the win, but we'll always take a draw against the Dutch.
And a lot's been made about players that aren't here with retirements and injuries. A young squad, how proud are you of them today?
Oh, they stepped up really great, especially Michaela Curtis up front. She really got in there and didn't take a step back, so it was really awesome from them.
And looking forward to your final pool game, what can we expect from you?
Just similar. We're just working heaps on our basics and our structure, so we're just taking another step forward. And China's going to be a hard one as well, but we'll put our best foot forward.
And Olivia Merry, 2 goals in 2 games.
Yeah, that's really good. It's good that she's starting to get some goals, so taking over from Crystal Ferguson, which we're missing.
And fantastic performance by your goalkeeper today. I think, she under 10 caps? How pleased are you with that performance?
Yeah, she did awesome. It was her first major tournament, so she did really great. And, her communication, it was great from her.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, and good luck for the rest of the tournament.
Thank you.
Well, nice to hear from Anita Punce, and she's delighted. But I'd be interested to see the thoughts of the Dutch captain, Marja Pauwman, who is now with Mel Clulo.
I think we played a good game. The only thing we didn't do was make our chances and score our goals. So I think we played a solid defending game. Just 1 or 2 chances for New Zealand and they scored 1 goal. And we didn't make our chances, so that's the story of the game, I think.
Thank you very much, and good luck for the rest of the tournament.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, not much from Marja Pauwman there, but disappointed. You said she's always disappointed when she doesn't win games, but well, she's going to have to pull her team together in the rest day tomorrow. They come back to play Japan on Tuesday, but New Zealand have done well here. Final score, New Zealand 1, Netherlands 1.